Let me guess, you've started the Skool community and you were thinking it would be the thing that would finally bring in consistent income. You believe the hype around, creating the Skool community and they will all come and you'll have passive income, $50,000 a month or whatever is promised. But here you are, weeks or even months in, and maybe you're still not even breaking even. I'm going to show you exactly why most Skool communities struggle and, more importantly, how to fix it. And you can fix it with something called a simple evergreen funnel. So this is the secret, even if you don't have a big audience. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to give you a free gift that's just going to fast track the whole process for you. So this is something that I actually usually reserve for paying clients, but hey, you're watching and I'm going to give it away for free. So let's dive in. If this is resonating with you, just know you are not alone. I've spoken with a lot of people who launched their Skool communities thinking it was going to be the answer to them bringing in passive income, growing their coaching, growing their businesses, but they actually feel stuck and invisible. And the reason is actually really simple, and it's something that I call the 2 T's. So the 2 T's are trust and traffic. If you miss one of these, it's like trying to drive with a flat tire. You're not going to get very far. Traffic is how people find you. And right now, if you've got a Skool community with fewer than 100 members, you're practically unfindable, depending on niche, but most communities with less than 100 are not going to surface on Skool themselves. So you need a system that helps you to get seen consistently. Now, some people try to shortcut this system by running ads directly to their Skool landing page. And look, I get it. It feels like a fast track, but here's the thing. Unless people trust you, and that's where the second T comes in, those ads are pretty unlikely to convert. So you're probably going to be burning through your cash because it's not going to convert unless you have that other T, the trust factor. So what builds trust online? Trust is when they've seen your face, they've heard your story and resonated with your story. They've received something valuable from you. So you've helped them with something, you've given them an aha moment, or you've helped them realize something, or given them something to help them grow. Then that builds trust. And then they start thinking, hey, wait a moment, this person's ideas are right, they're great, I like them, they resonate with me. So that's why you'll find creators with a strong social media following often do better. And they're the ones who probably can run ads straight to their landing page, because if those people have already connected with them on social media, then they're more likely to convert on their Skool page. They've earned that trust. So here's the part I really want you to hear. You don't actually need a huge audience or a massive following to build that trust. There is a shortcut. And it works. It's creating a value-driven funnel. It's simple, it's evergreen, and it builds trust before you even pitch your community. So evergreen means that you're not going to have to jump on webinars constantly, be there live for people. Although that is a really good tactic, if you can do that, it's a great idea because it really does build community faster. And before I do jump in and show you the funnel, just remember, stay with me till the end and you're going to get an amazing free gift which is going to supercharge your funnel building. So let's dive in. Here is a funnel map, and it's intentionally simple because simple works best, especially when you're just starting out. Now, to grow your Skool community, you need the 2 things I've spoken about, traffic and trust. And you get traffic from 2 main places. One is social media and ads. And inadvertently, this can help build trust. But no matter where your traffic comes from, it should all point to one thing, and that's your opt-in page. Because this is where people sign up for your free, pre-recorded webinar. This here, your webinar, is your trust builder. it's your skyrocketing trust builder. Because in this webinar, your job is to deliver value, but not in a way that overwhelms. You're not teaching them how to do everything. And what works really well is an aha moment, something that makes them think, oh, it's the missing piece. A great way to do this is to share your framework or method or roadmap that you give them within your Skool community. So look at your Skool community and turn that into your special framework or your special roadmap, the way that it should be done to get the results that you've got for yourself or for clients in the past. So you don't want to give them every step. You want to explain the transformation. So where is your audience now? Where do they want to get to? And how does your Skool community help them get there? So that's called the transformation. You should also tackle any objections head on. Things like, I could probably find this on YouTube. And maybe that's the truth. Maybe they could, but it would take them ages, piecing it all together with little bits and pieces and different strategies. Your offer is the shortcut. So next in the webinar, you also want to touch on urgency. Why should they join now? Because it's very easy for someone to watch a webinar, go, that's great, but it's always open, it's always there, I'll come back to it when I am ready. Now, one method that I recommend is what I call a sliding scale pricing model. So, for example, you might want to offer your first 20 members $10 a month, and your next 50 members $20 a month, and so on. Because what this does is it builds momentum and it makes it easy for you to reach your ideal monthly rate without scaring people off at the start and building a community that's actually active. For example, if you start at $60 a month and you've only got 5 members, there's no energy, there's no vibe, there's no community, and people actually leave. So by starting small, you build up and you're transparent about your pricing increase, which builds urgency. Now, let me walk through how the whole funnel works. So let's zoom out a little bit. You get traffic via ads or social media, ideally. They land on your opt-in page, where they opt in by giving an email for your free webinar, which walks you through what I've just told you about. They sign up, they get access to the pre-recorded webinar, and then also you can send them a follow-up email. So the follow-up email is really critical for those who don't sign up. So in this follow-up email, you want to recap the webinar. You can offer them a replay link. You can offer them a bonus. And something that I've seen that works really well is an offer to connect with you, whether that be via email or even a quick Zoom call, because those Zoom calls is a chance to answer any questions and gently guide people to join without needing to run live webinars with live FAQs. From here, the final step is, of course, sending them to your Skool community page. So within your Skool community page, you also want to talk about the problem they're facing, the solution you offer, touch on the urgency, and ideally the transformation and some testimonials. Now, there is a limit on the Skool page, so you try and fit that in as best you can. And that, in a nutshell, is the funnel. But I know this is all a little bit abstract to look at, so you're probably wondering what the pages look through. So what I'm going to do now is walk you through the template. So this is the webinar landing page. Now, this is the exact layout that I've used again and again, and many of my clients have seen great results with it when it's used properly. It's designed to do 3 things. Get people to sign up for the webinar, which in turn builds trust and guides them towards your Skool community. So it's that fast track towards trust. So you want to start by naming your webinar. So up here we've got the name of your webinar, which actually explains the problem that the webinar solves, not your Skool community, the webinar. 2 great ways to structure your webinar that I've found is either doing the key to achieving desired result is not common misconception, so overcoming a common misconception, or what is the transformation or the outcome from this webinar? So what is the one thing that you're going to teach them that's going to transform the way they think about the problem that they are facing? I'll give you an example. Say the key to manifesting isn't sitting around wishing it's this instead. You're not selling your Skool community here. You're selling the value of the webinar, which is the first step in your Skool community. So what's the transformation they're going to get from watching this? A great angle that I find can quite often work is positioning your Skool community as a framework or a roadmap or a shortcut to the result they want. Because then the Skool community is your how, but the webinar introduces the why. Below that, you want to have a subheading. The subheading is always introduces the solution a little bit more, the how it will be done. And then you want a really strong call to action. I've used a little red. It's actually proven to get more clicks. So if you can work that in with your brand colors, you want to have a irresistible click, give me instant access. It's instant because it's evergreen. And lots of happy people maybe using your product or getting results in the background. Scroll down. I really recommend having a video. You want to keep it short, around about 2 to 3 minutes. The goal here in this video is to build excitement. See here I'm using a lot of B-roll, get ready. You want to build excitement, but also you want to show your face. There I am. Showing your face is another way of building trust. And you want to connect emotionally with your audience. Where are they at? What is the problem that they're facing? And build the anticipation. So this example, which you will be able to view, uses music, aspirational, it's got energy. It makes them feel like this is what they've been waiting for. So it gives them a little bit of why you do it, but not the how. Okay, and then underneath the video, let's scroll down. What they get here is the benefits. So not the features, focus on the outcomes. So what are the quick wins that they will get from this webinar? So you've got to make sure the webinar does have value. But notice that I've put these give me instant access buttons all throughout it. And they, of course, lead to asking for email. So you need to ask them for those things to view the webinar. Below that, testimonials if you can provide them. These could be testimonials from clients you've worked one-to-one with, or people. They don't necessarily have to be your Skool community, especially if you're just starting launching out, but people who've worked with you. And then the next section. Now, the About Me section, it's very tempting to place your resume here and start saying you've done this and you've done that, but start with empathy. People are more likely to read it if you start with a bit of, I've helped so many people who feel stuck to do this, and then show your credibility. For example, I've built funnels and launched online courses and helped creators turn followers into paying clients. That's how I would start my bio. Scrolling down, what is the outcome of the webinar? If you haven't already covered that, what is the outcome? And of course, FAQs, overcome any objections. All these sort of questions that may be stopping people from joining and sitting on the fence. So once people sign up, they then land on the webinar page. And I've got an example of a very quick 10-minute evergreen webinar here. You've also make sure that you've got links to your Skool community up the top. So make sure you've got the name of your Skool community. And then a great thing to do is to actually add in a calendar so people, if they've got any questions, can book a time with you in Zoom to follow up and ask questions. So the template I use actually comes with a calendar system like this as well. So it's all in there. And then if they don't sign up, they can also get an email. So this template also has an automations. When people join the webinar, they get a follow-up email. Let's have a look at that email, and I have a template for that as well. This funnel is super simple. Of course, you can add more emails, you can add other things to it, but I have seen great results with the simple, clear, one email, one webinar template. So I hope this video has been super useful in helping you to show you a really simple funnel to build trust, to start building that Skool community on autopilot. As promised, I've got a gift for you. Now, I'm a little hesitant because I may not keep this gift up forever, meaning that I may remove this video because this is something I'd normally charge for. And it's this high converting funnel template that I've just walked you through. So you can get that whole template. All you need to do is go in and change the text. You're going to get the landing page, the actual webinar page, and the email. All of that is all included. Plus, I'm giving you a video tutorial showing you how to set it up. So how to change the colors, how to change the video, how to change the text, how to get that email triggering for you. And I'm going to give you a little bonus as well. I'm going to give you some webinar slide prompts. So it's just a blank slides. So I'm going to give you prompts for what you should put on your webinar slides, some suggestions that can really help you to hit the ground running with